I had the honor of supervising Officer Huesca the past few months in Unit 212, where we were both assigned. I will tell you, Officer Huesca came to work daily, ready to serve and protect the city of Chicago. You could always expect him to come to work with a smile on his face or something funny to say just to get the workday started. There are a few stories that I could share about Officer Huesca in the time that I've known him, but there is one that I will share with you. Maybe about 3 to 4 weeks after I was in the unit, he and I were sitting in the office alone, and he said, "Sarge, can I run something by you?" I said, "Sure." And he began to tell me about one of his dating experiences. He said, "I don't know why I'm telling you this," and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know why he's telling me this either. Maybe it's because I'm around the same age as his mom, or he just needed a female perspective. Either way, I obliged and continued to listen, and there were some things he could have left out of that story that I didn't need to know. But when he was done, I did give him my opinion, and we laughed about it. I share this experience with you all, because it meant a lot to me that he valued my opinion and wanted my input in what was going on in his life. I will forever cherish his memory and will always remember the impact he had on me, his team, this department, and the city of Chicago. I say to Luis's mom and his dad, you raised one heck of a respectful young man, and he will truly be missed, but I promise you, he will never, ever be forgotten.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicholas Vasselli. I'm one of the supervisors who had the pleasure of working with Luis in Unit 212. I do have a prepared statement, but hearing Superintendent's speech about his wit and his humor, trying to make everybody laugh, made me think of a story that has helped me this week get through some of the rougher times. Last week, we needed to get into his locker. I asked his partners if they knew which one it was, could they direct us? So they told me where it was, said there's a paper clip on it. I didn't think anything of that. Later on, one of the sergeants, he has to go into the locker, and he calls me back. He said, just so you know, the paper clip, it's not hanging from the lock or hanging from the slits above it. It's actually being used as the lock. And I just thought that was so funny, and I keep thinking back to that. But then a few days later, I find out even more. He has a piece of paper on it that says, "This is a lock." So that's definitely helped, and I hope, obviously it seems like it might help some other people. So I wanted to share that part. So a couple months after Luis arrived in the unit, he got there about 6 months ago. It wasn't necessarily his choice. Unfortunately, his unit was being disbanded. But we wanted to make sure that him and his partners and his team, that they felt welcome. We understood that it wasn't their choice. We didn't want them to feel like outsiders, because often when you go someplace new, that's what happens. So a couple months after he gets there, him and two of his partners, they're involved in a incident. Traffic stop resulted in multiple batteries to officers, uses of force. During the stop, his two partners were dealing with an individual. Family comes out from a nearby house, quickly surrounds everybody. They're extremely aggressive, yelling at and pushing Luis. He kept telling them to get back, often had to yell over them, screaming in his face, but then he'd quickly bring himself back down, in an effort to help de-escalate the situation. Even with the family yelling in his face, he kept continually regaining his composure after having to show his authority. The reason I'm telling this story is, at one point, the mother of the individual who was in custody, she actually asked Luis, "Can you be the one to hold my son?" He was the individual in custody. So even with their emotions running high and the family not wanting to listen, they did recognize what Officer Huesca was doing. We all know that nationwide policing is at a major transition, and there's an immense spotlight on our profession. There's a saying amongst police officers that goes, there's two things we hate: when things change and when they stay the same. Undoubtedly, things are changing, and whether or not he knew it, Luis embraced that change. He recognized that, yes, sometimes we have to yell, we have to exert our authority or use force, but he also knew that he could do it in a respectful way and eventually reach our goal of calming these tense situations. Recently, the video of him speaking of his dear friend Andres Vasquez Lasso resurfaced. In that video, he speaks beautiful words about his friend. He says that Andres deserved his star. Just like his friend, Luis deserved his star as well, and he earned it through his actions. We as a department will always be there for Luis's family. It's true that we never forget, but the best way to carry on Luis's memory professionally is to act how he acted. Treat people fairly and with respect. Treat the people we come into contact with well, and treat each other well. God bless you, Luis. God bless your family and your friends. We love you and we'll miss you always. Thank you.